This newscast is brought to you by Qberg, Pittsburgh's source for LGBTQ plus news and community information. Learn more about Qberg by visiting their website at qberg.com. That's QBURGH.com. From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are following at this hour. The United States Supreme Court agreed Monday in a case from Colorado to decide whether state and local governments can enforce laws banning conversion therapy for LGBTQ plus children. The conservative-led court is taking up the case amid actions by President Donald Trump targeting transgender people, including a ban on military service and an end to federal funding for gender-affirming care for transgender minors. The justices also have heard arguments in a Tennessee case over whether state bans on treating transgender minors violate the Constitution, but they have yet to issue a decision. Colorado is among roughly half the states that prohibit the practice of trying to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity through counseling. The issue is whether the law violates the speech rights of counselors. Defenders of such laws argue that they regulate the conduct of professionals who are licensed by the state. The 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Denver upheld the state law. The 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta has struck down local bans in Florida. In 2023, the court had turned away a similar challenge despite a split among federal appeals courts that had weighed state bans and come to differing decisions. At the time, 3 justices, Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, and Clarence Thomas, said they would have taken on the issue. It takes 4 justices to grant review. The 9-member court does not typically reveal how justices vote at this stage of a case, so it's unclear who might have provided the 4th vote. The case will be argued in the court's new term, which begins in October. The appeal on behalf of Kaylee Childs, a counselor in Colorado Springs, was filed by Alliance Defending Freedom, the conservative legal organization that has appeared frequently at the court in recent years in cases involving high-profile social issues. One of those cases was a 5-4 decision in 2018 in which the justices ruled that California could not force state-licensed anti-abortion crisis pregnancy centers to provide information about abortion. Childs' lawyers leaned heavily on that decision in asking the court to take up her case. They wrote that Childs doesn't seek to cure clients of same-sex attractions or to change clients' sexual orientation. In arguing for the court to reject the appeal, lawyers for Colorado wrote that lawmakers acted to regulate professional conduct based on overwhelming evidence that efforts to change a child's sexual orientation or gender identity are unsafe and ineffective. And now, this gruesome story from Buffalo, New York. A gay couple was found dead in their home in Buffalo, New York last week, leading to a police investigation and an outpouring of support, according to NBC News. A friend went to check on Mickey Harmon, age 40, and Jordan Celotto, age 37, after neither showed up for work. When the friend arrived at the house, he saw a man holding a knife and called 911. The police got to the scene at 4:22 p.m., according to police reports, and they found both Harmon and Celotto dead. The deaths are being investigated as a double homicide, but there is no indication that it was a hate crime, police said, adding that the man with the knife did not seem to know either victim. When officers arrived at the scene, he cut himself and dropped the knife. The only identifying information they have released thus far is that he is 35 years old and being treated at Erie County, New York Medical Center. Harmon and Celotto lived in Buffalo's gay neighborhood, Allentown, and were pillars of the queer community, according to friends, who said they organized many local events and programming for LGBTQ plus people. Harmon co-owned a store called The Good Stuff, where he sold his illustrations of Buffalo buildings and queer t-shirts. Celotto was a DJ and organizer of a monthly dance party called Disco Milk at 26 Allen, a local club. Mitch Nowakowski, a city council member, said Harmon and Celotto were both his constituents and his friends. I refuse to allow Mickey and Jordan's memory to be attached to these heinous crimes, he said. I want everybody to know that these people were artists, were people of the Allentown community who made it better, who made things happen, who worked with me ever since I got into office. When you look and see Allentown, its vibrancy, its festivals, its artwork, think of them because that is who they are. Harmon and Celotto's families and friends have set up GoFundMe pages to help cover their funeral costs and support their families. They have each raised over $50,000. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching our videos on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the PEP Radio channel. Download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. Now back to more music on PEP Radio.